Sup, everybody? Andy back again with Pittsburgh White Schwartz. This one's for all you gamers out there. We got Accel World, or as I like to call it, Sword Art Junior.
Came before Sword Art, though.
It did come before Sword Art. But,
somehow.
yeah, let's just jump right into it.
Yep.
I've run 15 level 0s in this deck. It's a little bit low, but they're all really efficient, so it works out. 4 runners.
Mill runners.
4 bombs. 4 Akatskis.
Well, Chiuris, okay.
Only the good shit in here.
Wait, this is the Chiuri, right? Yeah, it's her. I think that might have been the first.
Is that actually called the Chiuri?
Most people call
it like an on-death
Akatsuki's Chiuri, yeah. So
when this dies, you get to discard a card, look at the top 4. When this enters your field, it's an optional effect, but you can choose to mill 3 cards, and it's a Suicider, and this is
good for setting up good salvages since you're one of your level 1 combos.
Yeah.
Like you stack salvages.
This deck's level 0 game, the level 0 to level 1 game in Accel World is fire.
Yeah.
It is like so smooth and so consistent.
Worth noting that all these cards are from set 2.
Yeah, literally every single card in this deck is from set 2.
Yeah,
they messed up. So. The story is, for anyone who doesn't know, Accel World was like this English exclusive set, and it was just so terrible. It was an insult. It was so bad, and everyone rioted, and they Bushy Road had to actually do it right and reprint a second one. So
that's so funny.
Every single card in this deck is from Infinite Burst, pretty much.
Okay.
But back to the deck, you just plow through your first deck. It mills so hard.
Between these 2 cards alone,
you just get right through your first deck. Big advantage this deck has, really. And then rounding it out, I got 3 Brainstormers.
That's like on play give 15 or something.
On play it gives 1500 power, which is actually pretty relevant because our accelerate combos are all on reverse. So.
And everything's pretty small here at 0, so you're relying off a mill runner to plus on field, so it can help your mill runner beat over something.
I mean, I'm not really trying to beat over their field necessarily, too. I want to leave reverses for level 1.
True.
But the fact that you get 1500 power with this is really relevant because our combo at level 1, we go really heavy in a single lane. That's kind of like Accel World's thing. And it's really good if you don't play against AOT.
Yeah.
On to the level 1s. We got some accelerators. 4 Nikos, 3 Yukihimes, and these are part of the Accelerate engine too. They are the Nico and Pato back row. So how Accelerate works is when you go into your climax step, you can clock yourself from the top of your deck to give them a beneficial effect. And this is how we plus cards at level 1. So if you accelerate and get a reverse with this, you get to salvage a card. When you accelerate with this and get a reverse, you get to look at the top 4 cards of your deck for a character. So you can plus like crazy with this deck. It's insane. Oh, and she lets you plus too. Like when you use accelerate, you can give a character pay 1 salvage.
So you can stack double salvage.
You can get double salvage. You can get multiple pluses off of a single lane. And this is kind of how you're building advantage in this deck. We don't run a level 1 climax combo, but the goal is to find their weak lane and just run it over and get a bunch of pluses off of one card.
Off of one lane, yeah. It's pretty unique.
Yeah, and these cards have other utility too. When you play this, you get is it Surveil or Scry?
I believe it's Surveil.
It's Surveils. So you look at the top card and either put it back on top or put it into the waiting room.
And she just gains a boatload
of
power.
And she gets, when you play her, she gets 500 power per character, including herself.
Yeah, so like Yuki almost in Sword Art.
So she's swinging for if you accelerate her, she gets even more power. So if you have a full field and play this and accelerate, this is swinging for 8k.
Before climax or anything.
Yeah, it really gets overstuffed.
Climax, yeah.
You just want to go real big in one lane, and this is a global 5. But the Surveil on this is really important too for our finisher. We kind of have a Sunshine-esque finisher where we're milling cards and burning equal to the level of the card hit. So being able to top check before you go into that's really nice. So even later in the game when you're getting all these pluses, if you already have your finisher, you want to be grabbing these to get the maximum damage possible. On to level 2s. I got 5 of them. They're not super important. None of them are really that impressive, but they have a 2 in the corner. So when we mill them, they get a burn nicely. Let's just do them one at a time. We got a scene in the Summer Potto. All your level 3s in front of this get 2,000 power, and it bonds to one of our finishers.
It's always good.
Yeah. This deck also has an early play at level... You early play one of your level 3s at level 2. So ideally, you'll just sit this behind it, and they get a crap load of power.
Bonding's always good.
And you have so many backups in this deck, too. Oh, I forgot these. Level 1, yeah, we have 2k backup.
Oh, wow. 2k costs us backup. The set must be broken.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of backups in here, so you can really keep your stuff alive. So there's her. We have In the Heat of Battle, Utai. When your other character attacks, she gets 1,500 power. So if you swing with her last, you're coming in for 95. She gets over most things, and when you play it, you can discard a card to retire one of their level 0 cards in their back row.
Sync is like pretty underrated, so.
It's like, it doesn't come up that much. Like, I don't find myself using the effect a ton, but the times when it's good, it's like really convenient.
Really good, yeah.
And the fact that this, like again, this deck pluses so many cards, sometimes you just need to get cards out of your hand, and that just lets you get rid of a card to get down to 7. Then I got, this is the new edition of the deck, Ponytail Kuroyuki Hime. When she reverses her opponent, you choose one of your characters and give them 2,000 power for the turn.
It's got a 2 on it. Burns for 2.
It's got a 2 on it. This is like the newest edition I added to the deck. Honestly, I added it just because like I wanted to get more 2s in the deck. And it's like a nice one-costed card to do that with. And if you can like hit a weak lane with this,
you can
and then you're
ensure
that your early play will get over their bigger lane. So this will go for the weak, pick off a weak lane and then make your early play stronger.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my thought for running it. And I have 1 free fresh backup. Actually, no, that's what turned it into Ponytail.
Yeah.
Because you pay out a lot of stock with this deck when you hit level 2 for your early plays, and then you want to still have a bunch of stock left over to go for your finisher. So paying 3 is a lot. This is only 1.
So yeah, let's see that early play. You're on the Nico, right?
This is the Nico early play. And it adds a climax combo. Can you believe it, guys?
Going straight to jail, Andy.
I'm damned from the start. But this is an early play. When you play her, you get a heal.
2 or less, right? Yeah.
It's 2 or less cards in your waiting room. She gets a level, minus a level, and when she enters your field, you heal. And she has a climax combo here. I was like really unimpressed with it at first, but the more I played with it, the more I really, really like it. When it attacks, if you have this in your climax area, you salvage a character, and then this card gets 1,000 power, and when you reverse the opponent, you put them on top of the opponent's deck.
Helps you push for damage.
It does a lot of things, actually. It pluses you with the salvage, of course. But the extra power to get over stuff, I mean, that with the 1,000 here and the 1,000 here gets you 11.5. If you have the, where is she? If you have the
2-1 in the back.
If you have her in the back, that's like 13.5 now. You're getting over most
So
things.
wait, is the plus on reverse or no? The plus is on attack.
Yeah, it's when you play the climax, she gets 1,000 power and you salvage.
So it's on play.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then when you reverse with it, you get to send their character to the top of the deck, which is really good for 2 reasons. It lets you ensure more damage, so you're putting clean damage on top. But if they have like their own early plays that they're trying to keep alive, like
yeah, if they have
some sort of like walling deck or something like a Rem and ReZero, or
you just throw it on top
a
of
Yo and Sunshine where you don't want them to encore it, like you get rid of it so they can't encore it, which is really nice too. And the best thing about the combo too is it's free, and you're running this card empty anyway. Because you don't need a level 1 combo in the deck, so you can just, because of all the accelerate.
And it's gate, like,
you're running empty gate, and you're running early play healer, and they coincidentally just combo with each other.
Yeah.
And it's actually really handy. Then I got the competitive Scarlet Rain.
And that's the bond target from this 2-1, right?
Yeah, she bonds to this.
Okay.
Also. You just discard a character, get this back. This card says when it attacks, you mill the top card, or you reveal, it stays there. You reveal the top card and you burn your opponent equal to the level.
Just like Yo.
Just like Yo in Love Live Sunshine. And then when she attacks, she gets 1,000 power equal to times their level. So, I mean, you don't really play for that. You played for the Yo burn.
Yo burn's pretty good.
And it's really good when you combine it with the final card in the deck, which is the Kuroyuki Hime finisher. This card combos with the the Wind Trigger. And when you play this Climax down on your field, she gets 1,500 power, and she and another character get 1,500 power, and the ability, when their damage is canceled, you mill a card, burn them equal to the level. So you're Yo burning with Scarlet Rain, but also when they cancel damage from these attack. And if you can like get triple of these, like they can stack too. So there's two common lines I'll make with my finisher with this deck. Probably the most consistent line you can make is this. So this is the optimal finisher, I think, at level 3 with the deck. When you play the Climax, this gives itself and another character on cancel burn. So you can stack multiple instances on a single character. So these would both trigger. They would each give themselves a cancel burn, and you could give the other ones here. So, and then you attack with this, and you top check yourself with one of the level 1 Nikos earlier, and you make sure you have a good one on top. And you have a Yo burn, and that can trigger the cancel burn effect too. So if they cancel the Yo burn, you mill 2 more cards and burn them. And you know that you're getting a good one for the first mill too because you revealed it.
Well, that one will go to stock for... Oh, it depends on if it...
No, it's on attack.
Okay, so you're saying if the on attack, if the burn for... If you reveal a 3...
Like, check it out. Let's say that this is your deck. You attack, they burn for
2.
If they cancel that,
you
mill
the
this,
2, you mill that.
Burn 2, and then you'd mill another card and then burn again.
Yeah, okay.
And then these also have the ability too. But you get like 2... You want to like stack as many as you can on this card because it has 2 different chances to deal damage to your opponent. 2 chances to trigger this. The other line you could run is just triple Kuroyuki Hime. And they each give one to themselves and another, so there's 2 variations you can do. You can either go 2, 2, 2. Just give each of them 2 instances of cancel burn, or you could go 1, 2, 3. This would be the variation I'd use if I know that like they're at the end of their deck and they've like sitting there all smug like I have a Climax in my 2 cards in my deck. What are you gonna do about it? It's like I'm gonna attack you with this. You're gonna cancel, and I'm gonna get 3 burns on you.
Yeah, because they only need to cancel once, right? For you to, it's when damage is canceled and the effect just kicks every time. Yeah.
So the deck definitely takes a little while to get good with. Accel World, and like there's a lot of different lines to take with it, and if you can really master it, and like if you're good at keeping track of your deck and your opponent's deck, you can make sure that like you get the maximum amount of burns possible. Oh, I didn't mention, but these heal on play too, so
yeah, lots of healing.
Big ups to Kuroyuki. And 4 of these.
Yeah, pretty solid lineup.
Pretty strong.
Gatewind is a pretty
really
good Climax lineup.
Closing thoughts on the deck. I think it is, if you're getting into the game and you want a competitive deck to start going to like larger tournaments with, I think Accel World is actually a really good deck because it's really cheap compared to a lot of other top tiers, and it can really hold its own too.
Yeah, it's only really, really bad matchup is Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan matchup's abysmal.
Yeah.
But because you're going so heavy in one lane with Accelerate for reverse, and they just run away from you.
If you want to bring something really interesting to Springfest, especially because you're in a team's environment, your percentage chance of getting matched up against AOT will naturally be lower. Accel World might be a good deck to take. Especially because not a lot of people are playing it. So if you have to get slotted onto a team or something, you won't have trouble finding teammates.
Yeah, like straight up, if Attack on Titan didn't exist, this would like shoot up multiple tiers.
Yeah.
In power. Like this
Being
deck has
able to stack multiple reverses in one lane is very strong.
The deck is just so consistent at what it does too. and you just have so much mill power and so much plussing power. It's really, really good, but AOT kind of would discourage me from taking it to a larger event. But if your scene doesn't have a lot of AOT, or if you're playing teams like Carmen said, it's a really good option. A lot cheaper than the top tiers, too. Mm-hmm. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you're ever in the Pittsburgh area, come check us out at Top Deck Cards and Games and Heroes and Comics. And that's all I got. See you next time, guys.